Hello guys, and today I'm going to show you near the end of a chess game, okay, that I played recently, okay. Now you'll notice here that the queen, the black queen and the white queen are the two main pieces you should be watching, okay. Now what is going to actually astonish you is that black took several minutes before making the next move. This will absolutely astonish you probably, because unless you watch the game from the beginning, because you would think the next move is a terrible blunder by black, and in fairness it may be damage control, but we'll worry about that later. Now let's look at the move black actually made. As you can see, black has taken white's knight. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Should you take the white knight? Should white take the black queen? Is white taking the black queen with the white queen the best move on the chessboard? I'll give you a few seconds to think. The honest answer to this is no. And I will show you why. If white does that, then black can do something like this. Then in another move, if you're not careful, black could make some sort of escape with the king, later moving to there. For example, white could now do this, black can move to there, and now black starting to gradually potentially get out of it, potentially. Then do something like that. And now you may be in slightly more trouble. It's not as simple. So going back again. Well, look. That was the actual move that I did, and was the best move, and it is checkmate. So basically I ignored the black queen, I didn't take it, instead I took the pawn, and taking the pawn was better than taking the queen, because now it is checkmate because of the queen and the rook. So it's not always the best idea to take the queen. Now, I said that when black took the decision to take the knight, they actually spent several minutes on this move. But why would that happen? Well, let's start the game from the very beginning. Please note they could also have taken my rook, and that was a trap they fell into. So let's start from the beginning. I decided to play unusually. Not because this is a brilliant idea, but because it's a way of trying to disorient the player. They used to queens and kings matching each other. And once again, the idiot castled. Why do they always do this? Everybody recommends castling, but it's often a trap. So here, I am trying to clear space. They threaten my rook, I go back. Now I take their bishop. They're threatening my rook, so I move it back again. I move the queen, getting ready for the trap that you saw earlier. And now my idea was to try and find a way of somehow moving the queen to there. I can't at the moment because it will get taken, but that was my plan at the time. But it never actually happened that way. I'm trying to encourage this knight. I'm trying to take that, thinking of taking that, and then encouraging I'm trying to encourage that. Wait a minute. I'm trying to encourage that, and I'm trying to simply in some way that I haven't worked out yet. But I want to try and get rid of a few things because I want that knight out of the way so that I can then move. Absolutely no idea what that was about. Now I simply am waiting to move the for them to move the knight. So now they take my bishop before I have the chance to take their bishop. So we do a bishop exchange. You can see it's coming to near the end now. I move my knight here. And at this point, they now realise what the problem is. If I go back, they originally got greedy and wanted to take my rook. But by doing so, the trouble is they cannot, their king is completely trapped. Even if it moves there, I can move up there. But this knight is stopping them. So this is the issue. So what did they do? We didn't actually do that, so I'm going to go back again. Oh dear, I did not even... Sorry about this, but... 1 minute. So ignore that, I'm an idiot. Okay? Basically, I did exactly what I thought would happen. So, basically, I moved that there to threaten it. They then moved their king out of the way. I moved originally thinking that was what I could do, but that's what they actually did do. I forgot about that. So I was wondering why it hadn't updated the system, because it had done that anyway. Sorry, my mistake. I've temporarily forgotten. Okay? So, my next move, as I said, was this. They're now in check. So they have to do something. They have to either move the king or they have to take my knight. If they move the king here, the next move is checkmate. The only other move they could do is to take the knight, which is what they actually did do. And hope that I don't realise there's a checkmate, get greedy and take the queen, which I did not do. But as I said, they spent about 2 or 3 minutes before they decided to actually take the knight. I think maybe they were trying to take my rook and didn't know why they couldn't do it. Maybe they didn't want to lose their queen, but they didn't feel they had a choice. It was they were doing a queen sacrifice on the hope that I would take the queen, and therefore they would still remain in the game. I don't think, to be fair to them, they could have done a better move, because at least they got a knight out of it, at the very least, and the possibility of remaining in the game if I'd been greedy enough to take the queen. Whereas, as I said, the alternative, which was the only other thing they could have done, was to move the king, as I showed you, into the corner, in which case they would have gained nothing, really. So there you go, guys. A situation where you shouldn't take the queen and instead take a pawn, which caused my opponent to lose and for me to get checkmate. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.